Hi guys, it's Haley at Seamwork. So usually every month Meg or I share the fabrics that we used in the current issue of Seamwork. And as you probably already noticed, this photo shoot looked a little bit different than the rest of our usual photo shoots. And that's because of the circumstances around COVID. It just wasn't safe for us to host a regular photo shoot. So instead, we got the Seamwork team involved, and different team members sewed up different versions of the samples and photographed them, and those are the pictures that you see in this issue of Seamwork. And for that reason, I don't have the fabric with me physically because it's with my teammates. So this video is going to look a little bit different than our usual videos. I'm still going to take you through the fabrics that each one of the teammates used and talk a little bit about those, but I'm also going to share some fabrics from my stash, so hopefully it might inspire you to look through your stash and find some fabrics that might work for these projects. Let's start by taking a look at Orlando. So the Orlando t-shirt is the ultimate fitted scoop neck t-shirt. You have two sleeve options, a cap sleeve that's a really nice little angled cap sleeve, and a 3/4 length sleeve. The bonus variation for this pattern is a bodysuit, which I really love. It's great for wearing with skirts and jeans and all of that. So if you combine all of those options, you actually have 4 variations to choose from. I love like a good mix and match pattern. Because of the fitted nature of Orlando, you're going to want to look for something that has ample stretch. In fact, it's going to be ideal if you can find something with 4-way stretch, especially for that bodysuit, because you really need that vertical stretch so that it fits properly. I'm going to show you some of the samples that we made for this month's issue and talk about the fabric a little bit. First up, we have the lovely Meg. She made her version of Orlando with the short sleeve option, and she used a cotton spandex blend that's from Blackbird Fabric. This is a really great option, a little bit more on the stable side, so if you're newer to sewing knits, something like this is going to be a lot easier for you to work with than something that's a little bit more drapey. And it also is really nice and opaque. Sometimes, especially lightweight knits, can have that tendency to become a little bit sheer when it's stretched over your body. So this fabric, you don't have to worry about that. It's nice and opaque. Here we have Sienna in her version of Orlando. She chose to use a French terry. This is actually leftover fabric from a pair of Mel joggers that we made for the January issue of Seamwork. French terry has the potential to be a really great fabric choice for this pattern, but you're going to want to watch out for stretch. Make sure that you're choosing a variety that has some good spandex or lycra in it. Otherwise, French terries that don't tend to be a lot more structured and not have a ton of stretch. This particular one has 5% spandex, so it makes it a really great option. Next up, we have Robyn. In her version of Orlando, she chose to go with the 3/4 length sleeve, and she made it in this really lovely lilac colored hemp cotton blend. Her fabric has a little bit less stretch to it. And if this is the case for you, you're going to want to make sure, one, to make the t-shirt version and not the bodysuit. Something with not a lot of stretch will definitely not work for the bodysuit. And 2, if you are in between sizes, you may want to consider sizing up just to be sure. Something that doesn't have too much stretch may not allow you great range of movement and may not fit really well. So just be cautious. And if you choose to use something with a little bit less stretch, do so knowingly. And next up, we have Wallace in the bonus variation version of Orlando. Wallace used a navy jersey from her stash for this pattern, and she also mixed it up a little bit by using stretch lace at the leg openings instead of fold over elastic, and she has an article for that in this month's issue, so be sure to check that out. Jerseys in general are just going to be a really solid choice for Orlando, especially if they have a good lycra or spandex content to them. They tend to be really stretchy and have great recovery. So when in doubt, a jersey could be a really great option. So now I have some fabrics from my stash to show you. First up, I have this rib knit. It is a striped rib knit. I believe that it's Telio. probably got it from fabric.com. I think that a rib knit could be really fantastic for this pattern. It would give it that kind of like nostalgic 90s vibe, so if you're into that look, try rib knit, it'd be really great. Again, really nice and stretchy. This even has some good vertical stretch in it, so you could use it for the bodysuit as well. Next, I have a printed cotton jersey. I think a printed t-shirt is super fun. Again, you're looking for that good stretch to it. When I'm working with a printed jersey, something I want to make sure is that the print doesn't get too wonky when you stretch it out a ton. Sometimes in like a poor quality printed jersey, you're going to get a ton of distortion. So just give it a little stretch test and check that out. Next up, I'm going to talk about the Lisle dress. I really love this pattern. Lisle is a relaxed fit midi tank dress. It has a really lovely curved hem, and this is just the kind of pattern I want to live in every year when the weather turns warm. I think it's going to become my summertime uniform. For this particular pattern, you don't need to obsess over the stretch quite as much. Of course, something with a little bit of stretch to it is going to be great, but you're going to have a little bit more forgiveness when it comes to the stretchability of the fabric. Here we have Chelsea in her Lisle dress. She chose to make her version of the dress in a bamboo rayon jersey. This fabric is definitely a little bit more on the lightweight side, but it is not sheer, she assured me. And I think that it's just lends this dress a little bit of a different silhouette because it's drapier and it hugs a little bit closer to the body. So if that is something that you're looking for, definitely look for rayons or bamboo type knits that have a little bit more drape to them. And I think that it just creates such a lovely silhouette. And then here I am in the pattern hacked version of the Lisle dress. This fabric is a great example of something that doesn't have a whole lot of stretch to it and is a little bit more structured. I think for this particular hack it works really well. The pattern hack this month shows you how to create this really cool kind of asymmetrical overlapping hem detail, which I really, really love. And something with a little bit more structure works super well. If you would like something with a little bit more stretch for this hack, you could also use a cotton jersey that has a little bit more spandex or lycra in it. Now I'm going to share a few fabrics from my stash that would work really well for a dress like Lisle. First, I have this massive hunk of French terry. Someone gave this to me like years ago, and I have not used it yet. Maybe now is the moment. A French terry would be really lovely for this. Unlike the Orlando, you could use a French terry that didn't have quite as much stretch in it, and this is definitely the case with this particular fabric. You can see it has like a little bit of give to it, but it's not like incredibly stretchy. So French terries with a little bit less stretch, great option. And then similar to the fabric that Chelsea used for hers, this is actually a bamboo cotton blend. So it does have a little bit more stability to it. I don't remember where I got this. I haven't cut into it because it's just almost too good. I like the stability that the cotton lends it, but the drapiness that the bamboo adds to it. It also has some spandex, so it's nice and stretchy. This would be a really excellent option for Lisle because it kind of marries the best of both worlds. Well, that does it for our May 2020 fabric video. I hope you enjoyed taking a tour of some of the fabrics that we used and some of my stash. Thanks for joining me, and happy sewing.